Hello friends, my name is SagarMore.in and today in this video we are going to see what is HTML URL. So let's start. In the HTML URL you are going to see domain name, URL, what does it mean by that, and how do we link the website in our web page. So on my screen you can see that HTML URL chapter is there, which is also known as URL encode, in which we will see URL is another word for a web address. So uniform resource locator is the full form of this URL, and URL can be anything like this address bar. In here you can see the URL is there, which is uniform resource locator, and this is a unique URL which is for this particular web page. And the same way you will have a different URL for different web pages. So in the entire world a unique URL is for a specific resource, and that is binded to that resource only. It cannot be reused for another resource. And as example, you are watching this video, so this video also has a URL in the address bar, and that's why you are able to see this video. So let's continue with this. So URL is composed of the words like this domain name. So this particular part is called as domain name, which we have to register in the form of a character and numbers combination, or it can be character only. So this w3schools.com is the URL. Here this w3schools.com is a domain name also, whereas domain name is .com, which is commercial. Likewise there are other domain names like .net, .info, .org, .in, etc. And these are binded to internet protocol IP addresses. So IP is meaning of internet protocol, which is nothing but the address which look like something like this. If you want, you can also get the IP of your computer just the way I am doing here. You can follow the same. So I will be writing IP config in the command prompt, and this is my IP, which is IPv4. And the same way, each and every unique URL or the domain name is binded to a unique IP address of the server from where the resources are fetched and served to the user as per their request. So here in our case, this ASP page, which is HTML_URL_encode.asp page, is the resource which is requested by us from the browser, and this web page is present on a server which has IP address, and that's why we are able to see this web page from this domain name, which is w3schools.com. So this is a basic example. Let's see what we have next in the URL. So uniform resource locator is a full form of URL, but in that URL also there are some factors which we need to consider in this chapter. The thing is the HTTP or HTTPS, which is the prefix for each and every domain, right? So that is called as URL scheme. So whether you have HTTP or HTTPS, that is the scheme. And this is not only HTTP and HTTPS, but there are others like FTP is also one of them, which is a file transfer protocol, by the way. And we are going to see what this scheme means, what this prefix means, which is www in most of the cases. Then the domain part, which is w3 school. Here, like I have my website SagarMore.in, right? So SagarMore is my domain name. So .in is the domain name part which I have purchased, and this represents India for .in. For .com it means commercial, and the port name. So most of you must have not seen the port name in the address bar, but it can be configured and the website can be opened from the different port name which is given here. And the path, so this one is the path, which is HTML, and the file name which ends with this .asp here in this example. So this all consists of a URLs. It forms a URL. So let's understand what this scheme means, what prefix means, what domain, port, path, and file name means. So scheme is a type of internet service which is most commonly HTTP or HTTPS, and there is one more FTP, and there are many. So what this represents is HTTP, which is a hypertext transfer protocol. So it literally means it transfers the hypertext, which is nothing but our web pages. And HTTPS, which is hypertext transfer protocol secure. So secure is something which is related to SSL. SSL means secure server layer, which is here. If you click on this lock icon, it will say this website is secure, the connection is secure, and it is trusted, so you can use the website without any issues. So this tells the user that your website is visited by the user is HTTPS, means it is secure, and you can do the transaction on the website, and you can trust the website basically. So that is related to SSL, and once you have SSL in place in your web server, then your website becomes HTTPS. Until then you can use HTTP as well. So that is the scheme name. Then the prefix comes into the picture. So prefix is a www, which is World Wide Web, and that we write before our website domain name. If we don't write that, then also in most of the cases it will work, or it will add it automatically, just like this. I removed it and pressed enter, it is getting added. In most of the servers it is automatically handled, but some of them do not support the without prefix domain name or with prefix domain name, or whatever they have configured according to their server. But this is the prefix www, and then the domain name comes. So this is most important part, where domain name is registered by individuals or the organizations, and this is a unique one which is there in your address bar for each and every website, and this is purchased by the user for their particular website, and this is the unique one. Like google.com is the unique one, and that cannot be repurchased by any one again, because that is registered by someone, right? And the same way you can register your domain name as well. If you want to know how to register and how to renew and all, you can look for the playlist section in my channel. There is a web video created in that. Then the port part comes. So the port is 80 in most of the cases, because that is the default port for HTTP. But if the server is configured to deliver the pages on port 80, let's say, or 8080 or 81, it can be configured whichever way, but there are some ports which cannot be used. Like 21 is for UFTP, which is file transfer protocol. Then 25 is reserved. Like the reserved ports are also there, which cannot be used for this hypertext transfer protocol. But 80 port is reserved, and that's why you don't have to write it here in the address bar. But if there is any other port is configured, then you have to write. And then the path is nothing but the root directory structure in which the resource is present. So here our resource is ASP page, but it is present in HTML form. Likewise, file name is also there. So in our case, file is this ASP file, which is present in HTML folder. So, and this whole part, when it comes together, it forms a URL like this, or you can consider this as example. So that is called URL. And I just explained what does it mean by HTTP, which is hypertext transfer protocol. It is not encrypted, but when you use HTTPS, it is SSL certificate installed is on the web page, and that is secured and encrypted. Then FTP is there, which is file transfer protocol. Our browser directly cannot use that, but with the help of some tool, extension, or softwares, we can use FTP protocol. Also, there are softwares like FileZilla or Core FTP, with which you can just download or upload files to your server with the help of FTP protocol. Default port is 21 for the FTP protocol, and there is a file protocol as well, which we use in our web page. If you want, you can just see how the file protocol looks. Let me open the file. Any file I can open. Let's say I open this particular file, and if I want to open it in a browser, let's say, here I am dragging the URL, and here you can see C:/, and this is nothing but the file protocol. Here you can see the file word is written, right? And these are the protocols which we have to use there. Then the next topic is URL encoding. So what does it mean by URL encoding is, let me show you with the example. So on here I am on, let's say, google.com, and I want to search for a term. Let's say the term is SagarMore. So when I write SagarMore, in that case, if you look in the address bar, there Q is a query is equal to our query, whichever we have typed here. So we have typed SagarMore, but we have not typed plus symbol. If you see here, we have typed space, but here in the address bar, it is sending plus symbol. So it is a Google way of sending a space as a plus, because in the URL, if you add space, that breaks the URL, and that makes your search string Instead, %20 is getting applied. So that is another form of showing the space symbol to the URL. So whenever URL has space symbol in it like this, let's say, and if I press enter, whatever number of spaces I have typed, these many types %20 is getting appended to this. So that is a encoded URL which servers understand, and servers understand it as a space. So they client and server architecture understand this encoded URLs and it can decode. And likewise, there are other characters like space, or there are other characters like this rupees or euro or registered symbol, for which each and every particular entity is reserved in a UTF-8 character set. And whenever you want to search for those entities, let's say I'm searching for this in on the Google, and if I search, then this % symbol is here. But let's say the entity itself here I'm copying, and let me just write it here, the % symbol, and it understands it. But in some of the cases we cannot write some symbols there, right? In those cases, these entities gets converted into these encodings, and from there it understands, okay, so the word is this and we have to encode it. And these are encoded with these symbols, and you don't need to remember these symbols actually. In UTF-8 these symbols are represented by this code, and each symbol has different code, like space has %20, right? And you can just check whether the URL is encoded or not. If you see the plain URL, so that is not encoded, but if you see these symbols, then it is encoded. Just like this, their word Gunter is written, in which U is not U like this, but it has something on its head, right? So when I search here, then servers understands that something on the head like this, and that U gets created with these symbols, and which servers understand. So this is a encoded URL. So in this chapter we have seen encoded URLs, how to identify encoded URLs, then the file schemes, the FTP scheme, HTTPS and HTTP schemes, then domain, prefix, port, path, file name, and so on. So I hope you understand what is URL. So whenever you say link, send me the link, right? So you are asking for the URL, which is uniform resource locator, means unique resource, and locator is address, like this. So unique address you are asking to someone whenever you are using the word URL or link, and that URL consists of these factors which I just explained in the video. I hope you like the video. If you do so, please watch my other videos, and see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.